Hello everyone, this is Edray1416 here with a video on why the department stores in America are failing. This video is likely going to spark a debate all over YouTube if it hasn't already. So here we go. Department stores. A place where you can get good items on a shoestring budget ever since America became an official country in 1776. Even before the 13 colonies slowly became the 50 states, there were department stores all over the country. In the Wild West, you had cowboy hats, jeans, boots, and belts. On the East Coast, you had suits, slacks, and a top hat. By the Gulf Coast, you had straw hats, overalls, and open-toed shoes, otherwise known as sandals. So department stores were different all across America. No department store made an impact quite like Sears, Roebuck & Company. It was a Chicago-based catalog company in the beginning, but then smart marketing strategy and a flourishing company led to Sears becoming a department store. As the economy flourished in the 1920s, Sears was expanding throughout America because of smart marketing strategy, and it became the first department store to cater to both men and women. Then a retail pioneer named James Cash Penney founded J.C. Penney in 1902 in Wyoming. This was a retail store that catered to rural residents all over Wyoming and eventually throughout the West, combining Western-style clothes with modern clothing at the time. One of the tricks that James Cash Penney did was package clothes with the least amount of paper and ribbon to cut cost and increase profit. This was, as well as organizing sales regularly, is what inspired a young salesman named Sam Walton to create Walmart Discount City in 1962. The difference between Penney and Walton was that Penney was a good businessman that was good to his employees and respected something called blue law, while Walton wanted to make money all the time. What is blue law, you may ask? The legal definition of blue law is a state or local law that prohibits commercial activities on Sunday. That meant on Sundays, you couldn't go retail shopping, couldn't go out to eat, couldn't go to a picture show, and couldn't go clubbing. A lot of business owners complained considering that they drew money on Fridays and Saturdays, but were not allowed to draw on Sundays. This wasn't just atheists that were complaining, even some Christians were complaining about blue law. Because they had to stay home after church and ponder for a good while, blue law eventually got repealed in the 1960s. That helped out the department stores, restaurants, and bars a whole lot. While I would like to see blue law return, I will not fight for it because occasionally I like to shop on Sundays. The 1950s was a booming period for America, and a new entity called a mall emerged. The purpose of a mall was to allow many businesses to be made in one building with thousands of customers roaming for good deals. At the time, a lot of things were affordable and businesses saw record profits. Alongside the profits from businesses, mall owners were becoming wealthy every year. As malls continued to expand in the 1960s, another entity formed and it changed the department stores forever. What was it? Discount clothing stores. In 1962, Sam Walton created a discount clothing store called Walmart Discount City. This was where people could buy basic clothes for dirt cheap. Socks, t-shirts, blue jeans, and underpants. While this was a success, Sam Walton didn't want to pay his workers accordingly by law, making him a stubborn penny pincher. So rather than pay his employees the money he was required to pay by law, he decided to open up more stores just to increase his bottom line. That was why Sam Walton became a billionaire and Walmart evolved into a super chain by the time he died in 1992. Did Walmart kill the department stores and malls? No. It killed the mom-and-pop stores in rural places because of cheap prices and a national market campaign. If Walmart didn't kill the department stores and malls, what is killing them? Several factors. First factor is, of course, poverty. The rise in poverty in America from inflation and corporatism is the cause of the failure of department stores. Inflation has gotten so ridiculously high that department stores were forced to buy clothes from companies that were made in Korea, Japan, Indonesia, and China. Why is that? Because there are not many cotton fields in America as there were 100 years ago, causing textile industries and clothing factories in America to take a huge hit in losses. That's why you don't see as many made-in-USA clothes anymore. Second factor is poor marketing. Television commercials aren't genuinely entertaining, items that were not appealing to the eyes of the customers, and the sales prices were jokes compared to what was being marketed in the 1990s. Because of poor marketing, Macy's, Kmart, and Sears could be bankrupt in a few years. Walmart has also taken a huge hit in losses as a result. Third factor, flea markets, thrift stores, and yard sales. With poverty rising in America, a lot of grassroots people, including conservative millennials, like myself, are finding better options. Flea markets on average sell dress shirts for $1, a pair of pants for $1 to $3, and suits for $10 to $40. Not only is this bringing new customers to local flea markets weekly, but it's also helping out local economies. Thrift stores are another factor because you can get quality clothes for less. In the case of elderly people trying to pinch pennies further than the conservative millennials, they will drive all over their county to find a yard sale trying to buy a shirt or a dress for 25 cents each. I can't blame those traditionalists that survived the Great Depression. I've once made $20 at a yard sale. Not easy to make, but if you can make $20 at a yard sale, you are a good salesman. The final factor, the internet. Why should people jump in their car, waste gas, and go to their department store just to buy shoes for $40, dress shirts for $50, or slacks for $45 when they can just order online direct from the manufacturer for less? Again, it's the conservative millennials, Generation Z, and of course Generation X people that are doing this. It's interesting that I bring up Generation X because they were the first to realize that department stores were ripping them off when they found out they could get quality clothes for less. On eBay, a man can buy a brand new pair of slacks for $7.50. A woman can buy a new dress for $12. What about socks and underpants? You can get them at Family Dollar or Dollar General. If you do decide to buy clothes direct from the manufacturer, check out the cost of the clothes and compare that to the price of clothes at a department store. You'll see why the Generation X people were the first to say hell no to the department stores and just shop for clothes online. If you want new clothes, eBay and some sites direct are the go-to places. But if you are like me, if you want to buy used slacks, used suits, or used dress shirts, simply go to your local flea market or local thrift store. I would rather buy a suit for $20 at a thrift store than buy a suit for $300 at a department store. Again, not only do you save money, but you support your local economy too. And that is the reason why department stores are failing. To recap, poverty of the citizens, poor marketing strategies, flea markets, thrift stores, yard sales, and the internet are the reasons why the department stores are failing. Face it, with people pinching pennies, walking a lot more, and growing their own food as a means for survival, we could see the economy crash really hard in the years to come. That's why it's important to start going back to basics to save money. Anyway, I'm Edray, and I'm out of here.